Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, a best of 3 Terran versus Zerg between two mainstays in the StarCraft 2 scene. If you don't recognize these names, well, welcome to StarCraft. You must be new here. And by new, I mean probably joined with Legacy of the Void, because both these players, great in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, to varying degrees. Let me first introduce the man who is known for being the best of the rest, losing more tournament finals than pretty much anyone else has gotten to. It's, of course, so. He has returned, and with it, a very dated style. And I have it on good authority. And good authority is why I was recommended this series. There's going to be some Swarm hosts. Not the Heart of the Swarm version. They're very different. I'm not sure the context, but an actual Swarm host ZVT game. I don't know if it's against mech. I don't know if it's like some silly timing attack, but I don't know. I don't even know if it's this game, because I don't like being spoiled more than what matches I should watch, but always making for good matches, even to this day. I don't think we have a card from... No, we don't. We do have one thing for this Terran player, though. If you don't recognize him, well, it's Keen. One of the Terrans to play StarCraft 2. Do you have any more defining characteristics, Winter? He did that celebration once, 10 years ago, and it's been immortalized ever since. Also, he maintains his position as kind of a best of the rest sort of Terran. Not in the same sense of soO getting second place, but more definitely a threat to anyone. I don't think soO is heavily favored here, but Keen, it would be an upset pretty much against any of the top tier echelon of players. 3 CC. I'm gonna start off greedy. We're still doing. By popular demand, I found it, I was doing the chill cast, if you would, because trying to keep that voice, I'm getting old. I know people like soO and Keen, and I watch them play live, so that's how old I am. Yeah, called out. And until I'm able to get back to 100%, we're just going to have some nice, I say commentary, as opposed, that's not how you do that. Not casting. Commentary. Slight difference. Focus a little more on the strategic rather than the tactical. And mostly try not to burn my voice out getting excited that Reapers die because of poor micro. Or for some reason Zerglings actually got damage. So off to a mediocre start is King. Wait, was the third CC spotted? I think the timing and the existence of the second barracks may have given some of this away. It is going to be Hellions, obviously. You saw that. soO has a Roach Warren on the way. soO has not shied from these early timings. He's got 39 drones. Another thing. We brought the webcam back. It's super weird for me. I know it's a little weird. I think some people come to the channel like, why is this dude's face on the screen when I could be looking at Zest's face? Well, 1, 4 minutes. 2, sorry, Zest has retired. You're going to have to deal with me. But honestly, I talk with my hands so much. It helps. I don't know if it helps you. My hands get up to things. I don't know exactly what. That sounded bad, but moving on. We got to firmly grasp the common... Okay, that was just forcing it. Okay. Let's move on. As hand over... No. You got nothing. We got to script these beforehand. Ah! That was a good one. Anyways, so the Roaches are on the way across. Ravagers behind. They're all kind of bruised as the Hellions took a swipe at them. Medevacs are on the way. Stim is done. 3 bunkers. Yep, those are Roaches. Keen, in a panic, knows the bunkers won't finish, cancels everything. The boys have to be pulled. Stim Stays out of the corrosive bow for zoning right now. So far, that one corrosive bow partially just to keep the damage from being dealt. The Hellions helping out a lot against the Zergling. So far, Keen handling this with, he's taking it nice and slow. Honestly, while he loses 12 SCVs, and that puts him down at 36, this is kind of a Wings of Liberty situation where a 3cc Terran can have 0 SCVs, and they're still in it. And he has a lot more than 0. He's got 39. The income will swing towards soO, but that third command center with its orbital, able to drop mules, which are approximately 5 SCVs mining, give or take, around 5 while they're dropped. And he can have 3 of them at a time. So it's essentially like having 15 more workers that don't overlap. Mules overlap with each other, but they don't overlap with SCVs. Otherwise, it would create quite a traffic jam. That means you can essentially oversaturate. That's why they don't count towards the worker count. Though if you have over 8, they do. Well, they have their own issues there. The mule lane gets clogged. That is rarely an issue unless you're winning really hard or doing very poorly. Medevacs come in, trying to do what he can. So soO, I think the roach attack... overall, I wouldn't be super happy with that. But at the same time, it's not like he did some sort of early, like, one base all in. He did have enough drones to springboard in the lair tech. 66 drones now, full 3 base saturation. Overlord taken out. Combat shield done, 1-1 for Keen's Marines. Concussive shell going to be very important against this roach-based composition. Not usually as huge a factor against swarms of Zerglings, as you simply don't have enough Marauders to matter. But against the roaches and Ravagers, it can keep you from losing a fight or turn a good fight into a great one. A little bit of jangliness on that drop. I don't know if that's a word, but I think it accurately describes it. He jangled that one. Gonna want to avoid that in the future. Well, Ravager sniped. I think I was going with a combination of janky and dangle. When you do a janky dangle, it's a jangle, obviously. It's got that vague uncomfortableness to it. The word. That I think appropriately describes it. So make sure not to jangle your Marines. 2-2. Upgrade advantage for Keen. Yeah, look at that worker count. But also look at the supply. I do take it back. soO, very ready for this mid-game army. This is what he's shown in the last few months. Is he does not want to go to that late game. He doesn't want to bait out the ghosts. We're going to fight it out. We're going to brawl. And when you go for a roach all-in, like, you kind of... When you go for a roach timing, you either have the awkward detour, the exit ramp on the Ling Bane, or you double down. You hold the gas pedal and use it for Ravagers. And right now, that does seem to be what soO did. Double drop, heading towards the third. The big weakness of this, of course, is very little built-in... Oh my god, he didn't get roach speed. soO! Oh no! What a disaster. That's a huge deal in fighting these armies. And also coming back to reinforce. I can't believe it. That you had one job. He's getting it now, but that is way late. This is still a dangerous army. With roach speed, it might be a deadly one. But he can't really close the distance. With the concussive shells, it makes it even worse. The drop in the back. Oh, I can't. Honestly, amateur mistake. We could all be like, hey, I forget roach speed all the time. All right, Timmy. The Platinum League is not a professional StarCraft 2 match, but sometimes they have a little bit too much in common. Yeah. I'm pretty confident that roach speed was the difference in Keen holding his third, at the very least. Then he ended up losing it. Well, the boys have to be pulled yet again. There wasn't that much at home. He picked up 3 medevacs and dropped the main. Maybe a bit of an overcommitment here. 2-2 is not quite done yet for Keen. He doesn't have much battle army to speak of. Road speed finishes. Still some tanks on the high ground. Ravagers unloading. Zerglings attempting to get in front. Transfuses. Drones dying on the other side, so the economic damage is not limited to Terran. Another volley of corrosive bile. Oh, some awkward marauders, but overall so. As the supplies get closer and closer, this definitely favors the Terran. Their units are just way better suited to these small to medium-sized fights. Medevacs for healing. Stim for well, just in general. Medevacs need to heal the Stim. But the Stim pack means you can turn that even fight into a very strong win. When used at the right time, of course. Hey, maybe we're going to get that 8-mule traffic jam. 5 mules dropped. Can we see it? Overall, the lack of roach speed making all the difference on these on the first wave of the attacks. But there were just so... Oh my god. One more tick, please, Jimmy. I guess 15 worker lead is quite something. One more. I guess I don't understand worker citrus. Actually, being on 3 bases, down 18 workers, against someone who's on 4 bases, just the optimum spread here, something... There's way too much math. I'm doing way too much math today. I'm not here to do math. Okay.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
That is exactly what they spell when I try to do math. Oh, I think part of it is the resources are factoring in the gas. Occasionally I forget it's not just minerals, because gas is usually a fraction. But in this case, quite a large one. Oh, Keen, a little dicey, loses the medevac, but we'll get a few drones. And drag a surprising amount, a bit of an F2 there from so. I'm sure he rebinds it. I've seen some Korean pros unbind the select alarmy key, and then just click it sometimes. Which... I don't think is necessarily the worst thing ever. It's literally an emergency button then. But Innovation was a big offender on that point. I saw Innovation, he unbound it, watching him stream, and then he would just click it like every 15-30 seconds. It might have just been a particularly hectic set of games, but I'm pretty sure he was... I don't know, maybe he got shamed for it and pretended like he didn't have it. F2 shaming is a real thing, and they deserve it. Sorry, Loco. Corrosive Biles, just shotgun spread. More like flak at this point. Is there any high ground vision? 3 tanks on the high ground. No Overseer. Finally bringing one up, but the tanks are getting massive volleys. so is losing almost everything at home. Those 3 tanks on the high ground obliterating the Ravagers, but the bio's looking pretty thin. The main base is just gone for so. So there's not really going to be any home to go back to. He's going to try to save it. There's like 50 supply of bio back here. so just trying to ram into this multi-tiered wall. And almost breaks through the defenses, but... like, the Terrans can lift their buildings. He is able to lift the 3rd... we're down to 26 versus 15 workers. Unfortunately for so, he is on the worst end of that. And that means mules are really going to kick in. I've been doing all sorts of math and just philosophical statements about them all game. But now they have... oh my god, watch out. Making it dramatic. Keen as so tries to coat the air with corrosive bile, doesn't quite land it on the way down. 19 drones is not good. It's been a messy game. There's been more corrosive bile than a particularly late Saturday night at the cheapest dorm. There's been more drops than the newest Skrillex album. There's been more roaches than that same dorm, actually. But at the end of the day, the economy, the ability to just reach into the pocket and take out a small loan of a few hundred more minerals with the mules, I think that's going to be the decider. It's a 2 upgrade advantage. Medevacs for all policy for Keen. This is not an army that, unless corrosive bile... wow, okay. Jangling those Marines again. Corrosive Bile really is going to have to land. Keen's got to be a little careful not to lose the medevacs in 1 or 2 volleys. Yeah, this is a bit... Okay, alright, we get it. You have Ravagers. soO's just landing entirely on the Ravagers. At this point, you have no other reliable way to kill the Bio. Usually, Ravagers are partially just to stop the Bio from firing and force them to micro. They're less reliable for actually hitting anything, but that's just so many of them. Throwing out a wave. Gotta be careful. The roaches can't really close the distance, so the Biles are still dropping. Another volley. Keen micros back. It's still very tenuous. He hits a few Biles at the wrong angle. Good counterattack here. Few Zerglings. Yeah, Keen, there's still throw potential for our Terran player. His micro hasn't been perfect. An air wave of Biles. Overall, I think Keen's made the right call. Usually, divide and conquer against the Roach Ravager. You force them into that all-in attack, and then you crush it. I don't think he crushed it, but he definitely put some cracks in the armor, in the carapace here. soO, a bit of a lazy all-out attack. It feels like he's wanted to get that critical damage ever since the early game with the half-hearted Roach attack that Keen was able to defend quite strong. All right. Well, the Bio Army. So who's Zerg in this scenario? The Bio Army trying to outflank the Zerg Army. That was the main orbital there, by the way. Keen, a little bit off the timing here, but another Bio Army flanks in from the right. Corrosive Biles are landing, even getting some of the Corrosive Bile. Nope, that was the same word. Even getting some of the medevacs, but... Wow, what a play. A picturesque surround. And Keen actually takes the match quite convincingly. I mean, it was close, but Keen had all the initiative. That's not what I mean. All right. I'm struggling with the words today, and that's really all I got going for me. But Keen had time on his side. soO had the initiative, and he used it to do these Roach attacks. But when they failed, that left him with a lot less to fall back on. And instead of getting picked apart by medevacs for 10, 15 more minutes, he just committed to the all-in. And a few mistakes like missing Roach speed and not having high ground vision are sometimes all it takes. And there were no swarm hosts in that game. I do want to remind you, I did set the scene. Of course. Well, I mean, there could be 2 more matches. I would love to see swarm hosts win. There was no other information. All right, Jimmy! After the cast. Your badge and your gun. On my desk. I know it's a table. It's just a dining table from IKEA. No, Loco didn't recommend... Game 2. 2,000 atmospheres. I don't think so. I don't think this map is particularly great for swarm hosts. Just the rush distances are a little too small. Swarm hosts really thrive the more times you can send out the locust offensively, of course. 2,000 atmospheres is kind of your straight up. It gets cut in half. You know what? I may revise that. It gets cut in half sometimes. It does end up with a surprising amount of late game. I think because the bases are mostly, like, there are no bases directly in the center. The closest you'll get are these rich Vespine bases. So. But who knows how far we'll get. As soO, I've seen it. Like, here's the thing. Keen went for 3 command center. It doesn't get much greedier than that. I don't, like... You almost can't get more greedy than 3CC. And soO, like, it wasn't a super quick timing, but it was quite a commitment. It was a pre-lair roach timing. And it just didn't really do that much. And I think this is why so many Zergs are just avoiding it entirely. Terrans have gotten too good at defending it. You just let the Terran get the third CC, and oh my god, he got a drone. Oh god, that's tilting. That first Reaper is mostly there, so forgive the visual and the phrasing, but essentially to wag their particular dicks at each other. The Zerg player makes a handful of Zerglings, says, "You're not gonna kill any of these Zerglings." The Queen comes out, says, "We don't like your kind around here." The Reaper says, "Well, can't touch this. Now watch this. Now watch this." And micros back and forth. But you're not actually supposed to kill. Maybe you get a Zergling or two, and that's a win for the Terran. And since this isn't like mid-masters NA, you can't be like, I bet he forgot to build his reactor. Or I bet he forgot his second depot with that micro. Yeah, you know what? I bet he didn't. He did not. So every loss is quite one. Hellions coming out again. It's a similar opener. This time around, Keen does not feel under threat. Opens with a Viking. Actually, no, I take it all back. It's just a 1-1-1. The Destiny Cloudfist build, where you get access to a little bit of everything and no real aggressive potential, besides just annoying the Zerg. You got the Viking to clear out Overlords, you got the Hellions, which are relegated mostly to denying creep, and making the Queens feel a little toasty. But this is covering all your bases while about as literally as you can get. Really not coming up with the words today. Come on, guys. Punch each other in the face or something. Let's do some play-by-play. You've seen it before. We've got 2 Evo chambers. Actually, this is a detail worth pointing out. 2 Evo chambers before the lair. That indicates a mass Zergling style. Starting with Carapace, as well as soO. He's definitely not quick on the lairs. Oh my god. Nope, I think it's this game. I think this is the Swarm Host game. 2 factories on the way. It's mech. He's meching it happen. Finally. Someone giving it a shot. I mean, we've seen Maru do some. Gumio, of course. Whoa, the Hellions. Once again, the Hellions, like the Reaper, are supposed to be aesthetically pleasing and superficially damaging, and nothing more. It's a Viking in the main. But they actually get by only picking up 4 drone kills, so, Liberator picks up a 5th. Now, the crazy thing about Hellion is he just going to run by the Zerglings, waiting for their moment. The thing about this is Terran can be so bio-curious with their build. It can take so long before they really commit down a certain tech path, especially with the 1-1-1 opener, that this does not guarantee for soO that it's mech. Seeing 8 Hellions does not mean mech. It just means this guy likes Hellions. That sounds like a little facetious there, but it actually is still potentially a bio play. Until soO, and soO not going to see it because the Viking gunned down any Overlords nearby. Oh, come on, tell me we're doing the hammer drop build. If he wasn't so supply blocked, I think we'd be doing the hammer drop, which is my name for the double Thor drop, which is still supply blocked. Oh my god. Well, a scan reveals a macro hatch and a second gas not yet taken, which means it's unlikely to be Mutas. Not that I thought that was a high chance in the first place. The Hydralisk Den begins. And every indication right now from Keen, or every indication from soO, says that he thinks he's dealing with a bio push. Like the bio push, 2 medevacs should be coming out with 16 Marines or so, very soon. There are 2 medevacs. Okay, Keen kind of bungled this one. Yeah. I don't know how often he does this. Maybe he just broke it out. He felt the urge to make it happen. But that was quite a hearty supply block. This is 20-30 seconds later than it should be. But it will come at an entire surprise here. I don't think so has any idea what's coming. Like, he's already making Lings and Banes, Baneling speed, Hydra upgrades, which are okay, but Thors. Oh my god. What? Well, the Queen's chillin', or grillin', while the Hellbats are chillin'. Well, the Hellbats are morphing, but in this case, they're just trying to buy space for the Thors. And they can actually get healed. And he had so many Hellions. Another wave of Hellbats being used. I love the build. This is one of my favorites, though honestly it just kind of gets countered if people do it too much. Gumiho was the first one, of course, to come up with this particular style. At least that's who I'm crediting here. It's kind of phased in and out every now and again. It isn't very common because a few roaches or not losing all your queens right off the bat does a lot. But it does have the advantage of being able to isolate and kill queens pretty easily, in a way that a normal bio build can't. Thors, of course, they're hammers, which is the name for their, like, cannons on the end of their arms. The queen armor doesn't matter much against that level of punishment. So, I love the choice, but the timing plus mediocre execution means that Keen does not run away with it. He doesn't do critical damage economically. He doesn't kill any significant amount of bases, or any bases at all. But he does buy himself some map control, at least until Ricky and the boys, for once, not an accident. Okay? A lot of swarm hosts are born as an accident. And we love them anyways, and we pretend like we meant to make that one swarm host. His name's Ricky. We all know that. But this time, no. These swarm hosts were wanted. Which is nice to have every now and again. Now this one's a little ahead of things. The scan spots the swarm host. An interesting choice. The double hammer. Repaired the Thors, brought them back to the front. Dropping it into the 4th. So, in kind of an awkward scenario here. What are the upgrades? +2/+2 on the ground. Those are upgrades if he can close the distance with the Lings and Banes. Or, honestly, the Carapace upgrades are a huge deal against siege tanks. And Hellions. Well, a little lazy with the Locusts. They drop on the handful of Marines left over from the early game. The double-double on the left flank. One of the most expensive ways to clear creep. Keen backs off. He forces a defensive wave from those locusts, from those swarm hosts. And with it, he can keep them off his back for now. Hellions chasing again. A handful of oh my god! Oh god! Oh, blue flame. Those are blue flame Hellions. Oh my. Oh wow. 16 Hydras. I think they all just... That was beautiful. Or terrible, depending on who you are. I mean, I think you can respect the charbroiled, if you would. Charbroiled. Okay. Hydras. But Sue, I think, underestimating the power of Blue Flame Hellions with that extra damage. +1 is done. +2 Carapace is not enough to save them. Hellbat's quite good against Locust, to be honest. The Thor's pounding through the Queens and then dying at the medevacs. What are you doing? But the F2 might end up being worth it. Thor drop heading for the natural, while the army is not in position before the tanks are sieged. A few... Oh no! Banelings into the Thors! I can't think of a worse target. Oh my god, the tank shelling, but the Locusts are dropping on top. Friendly fire, a real thing. Regular fire, also a real thing, as the Hellbats are zoning. And honestly, Keen coming away with a dramatic and decisive victory in that battle. So far, he's lost half the minerals and barely over half the gas. Liberator has 12 kills, finally gunned down. Su, determined to play on lair tech. No matter what the situation, what do? I go lair tech. Oh my god, Su. For better or worse. And in this case, I honestly don't know which one it is, because you really do need to put some pressure on the mech player. Otherwise, this stuff is going to keep happening. He's using pretty much all the money he has. Waves of Locusts dropping those blue flame Hellbats. You know what? Here you go. This is how Hellbats are used. To zone out the worst units of Zerg. They're the mineral sink. I'm loving the Hellbat use. We'll have to see, though. Oh my god, another roast. Targeting the Hydras. The Swarm Host. Dozens of supply with nothing. Without the Locust, they're nothing. There's over 50% of the time, they're just dead supply. And it's not like Su's maxed out anyways. Banelings are rolling in to hit what? Tanks, I guess. The Hellions helping out. Su is getting pushed back, but the Swarm Hosts are recharged. Pops the Locust. Gotta be careful on the drops. Drops them, traps a Thor. A second Thor. Cover for the Hydras. The tanks do not retarget onto the Hydras. And Su drives him back. And what is that? He's invented Hive Tech for the very first... Okay, he'll get it, but it's kind of like Byun with Ghosts. Eventually, yeah, okay. But if we can avoid it, sometimes we'll take every effort to do so. So Su, feeling obligated. Oh, speaking of the Cloaked Devil, the Ghost Academy, researching Cloak already. Wait, oh, and rebuilding barracks here. I think the barracks came from the main and joined 2 new ones. The Locust on the planetary. Does not have building armor, and I don't think it would matter. Hellions. Blue Flame. Whoa, it goes into Hellbat mode. Kind of a weird timing to do that. Doesn't quite get the line of drones he was looking for. Smart servos. All these upgrades that we don't usually see. It's actually shaping up to be quite a good game. Both these players making mistakes. But that's StarCraft. Okay? And that is some of the most entertaining. They're both obviously incredibly good. But they're not perfect. And also, this is kind of uncharted territory. I don't remember the last time I've seen Mech versus Swarm Host. Alright. Just straight up Mech, that is, as well. Wow, Keen. Keen is, he's decided to curl up into his shell. That's how we're gonna put it. Is this a Hellbat drop? Oh my god. Blast from the past. They do decent damage. Of course, maybe not the best use of 2 medevacs, but... The Ghost. Oh, he cloaks. He spots the Swarm Host, unleashes the firing squad. And then they also have guns. Wouldn't it be cool if you guys had some sort of attack so you could fight us? What am I watching? The Ghost Hit Squad with no more snipes. Like, that's +2 carapace. They're not going to do that much damage. They do extra damage against light with the auto attack. But the Ghosts are on the field. 9 of them. Against 9 Swarm Hosts. Well, newly slimmed down number. Well, the Ghosts also quite good against the Locusts. In the air or on the ground. As Locusts are light units. More command centers on the way. Keen banking up money. Still in a pretty comfortable position. Losing a planetary or 2, a base or 2, but has more than enough command centers to replace it. This base taking a lot of damage. Snipes coming out. Sniping Hydras. Blinding Cloud does not block the snipes, but it does stop the tanks from firing, which means the Hydras and Banes can close in more easily. More snipes, just whatever you can get a hold of. The Swarm Host, that was definitely enough too. Oh, a few Vipers wandering into the fray. Has a Blinding Cloud, and Sue actually ends up coming out. I'm not going to call it a head, but he does win the fight. The units lost is looking a lot closer. Sue has actually been more gas effective now. Still a few thousand minerals extra. But those Swarm Hosts, I think, no matter how this ends, we can say they were the right call. We'll see how much more value we can get now with all these ghosts out and the upgrades nearly maxed. I think 9 or 10 Swarm Hosts, that's still enough to pretty reliably kill a base to drop on the tanks and have real damage potential. You don't want too much supply in Swarm Hosts because then there's about half the game you're left with no units, which is quite risky. Oh, the Overseer died, but the Banelings, of course, could still potentially connect. It's not like the Ghosts have a ton of energy. Keen trying to defend without... He doesn't really have enough units here. Some snipes coming out. Blinding Cloud, maybe. Well, the Ghosts themselves helping a lot. Finally, Blinding Cloud. The tanks whittled down. Keen down to 148. More snipes. The Hydras step into their own Blinding Cloud. Bit of a overextension there. The Ghosts looking for the Swarm Host. The Swarm Host running. Trying to find any opportunity. The Ghosts don't have that much energy. Oh. But the Hydras find out they have enough. I do like how he's just sniping anything he can get a hold of. He's not waiting for the juiciest target. He's taking guaranteed damage. And those Hydras are not cheap. That's part of the reason they're so rarely seen. Unless, literally, well, the options are thin. I guess they're not rarely seen, but usually lurker eggs are their best purpose. In this case, though, against this, lurkers are not in any way, shape, or form the counter to this. Siege tanks, ghosts, they're not particularly great against Hellbats or Thors either. This is Viper Swarm Host and maybe some Broodlords, but the EMPs hit the Vipers. And this fight, Keen, the thing is, Keen, what is the income? Well, yeah. I don't know what I expected. I kind of expected that. Keen has not really lost any income in the last 5-10 minutes. He's able to keep reproducing. He's been pushed back to his bases. But he hasn't lost them, nor the workers. The snipes continuing to add on the damage. The Locust will drop. But didn't even kill a tank with that wave. Oh, Sue. Down to 69. 69 drones. Which is not nice. Unless you're Keen. The Swarm Hosts have... Well, now they're dead. But they've lost value a while ago. The Ghosts... The perfect... stocking stuffer for any Terran composition. And Keen... What looked to be kind of a back and forth battle. Keen... A little sloppy with the mech and Sue taking advantage of it. But overall, the Swarm Host didn't get the momentum quick enough. Were they a mistake? Were they the right choice? Honestly, I think they had potential. I think there was a good shot there. So, what do you think? What unit do you think is underused? Or just general thoughts on Ghosts? I'd love to hear them. Or at least enjoy the comments. Check out these videos. That'd be great. Thank you guys for the support. I hope you're enjoying the commentary, not casting. And if you can't tell the difference, I guess that's a good thing. Because you made it this far. So, be awesome if you could smash that like button. Snipe it. Whatever it is you need to do. Check out more videos. And, well, tune in next time. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.